Hey, what's up, third grade? I'm going to watch this one with you again. It's pretty cool. I like doing the challenges. And thanks for all the flip grids from this week. You have some really cool ways of keeping the sun out of your face if you were on that island. This week, day number 2 on that island. Good thing you made a hat because you might be there for a while. Let's find out what this week's investigation is going to be. And at the end, I'm going to pose the challenge to you, but it's going to be a little different just because materials might be hard to come by. And this one, I'm going to change the challenge up a little, kind of reverse it, just so that way you could do it even if you didn't necessarily have an adult right there with you. But all right, let's see. Let's get to it. Can you really fry an egg on a hot sidewalk? I've heard this before.
Hi, it's Doug. It's day 2 of your class being stranded on a desert island. Your ship sank yesterday, and you all swam ashore. And today, man, you are so hungry. Now, luckily, you spotted some wild chickens on the island. And if there are chickens, you get to thinking, maybe there are eggs around. So you look around and, yes, all right, a nest. All right, you've got some eggs. Now, you don't really want to eat raw eggs if you don't have to. That'd be kind of gross. It'd be nice to find a way to cook them. There isn't any fire on your island, but it is really hot outside. It's so hot, actually, that it reminds you of something your uncle used to say every time it was a hot day. He'd say, "It's so hot outside, you could fry an egg on the sidewalk." You always thought that was just a funny thing some people say when it's hot outside. But could that expression actually be true? That would solve your problem. So you think, well, maybe I could try it out. There are no sidewalks on this island, but there is a nice flat rock that's been sitting in the hot sun. So you go ahead and you crack open one of the eggs like this. Here's what happens. It doesn't fry. It's still just a raw egg. I guess maybe the saying isn't true. Or does it just need to be hotter outside? It turns out that people have tried doing this, even in the hottest place on Earth. That's this place right here, Death Valley, California in the USA. Summer temperatures there reach 134 degrees Fahrenheit. So if there were somewhere that frying an egg on a hot sidewalk should work, Death Valley is the place. Look what happened even there, though. It still doesn't work. The eggs are still raw. So if it doesn't work in the hottest place on Earth, it's not going to work on this desert island either. Unfortunately, then, it seems like there isn't a way to fry an egg on a hot day. Now, meanwhile, while you were busy trying to fry an egg, your friend was busy rubbing some sticks together, and she managed to start a fire. All right. She even found this chunk of metal from the ship that can act like a frying pan. Oh, what an awesome friend. What would you do without her? You're all in business. You guys are going to have some fried eggs. Woohoo! But now you have a new problem. You know that hot pan will burn your fingers if you touch it. You don't have any easy way to get your hot pan off of the fire without burning your hand. What can you do? You want to grab the pan, but it's too hot. Well, think about what people normally use in situations like this so that they won't burn their fingers. Like, what would you use to get a hot dish out of the oven?
I have an idea. People use oven mitts or pot holders to get a hot dish out of the oven. Maybe you've seen those around your house. What would you use to hold a cup of hot chocolate that's too hot for your hands? I know I've seen some of you with firsthand experience coming in with hot chocolate into school. Coffee shops have cardboard sleeves that slide over hot paper cups. The cardboard protects people's hands from heat. All right, let's find out a little more.
So an oven mitt and a cup sleeve are both objects that we use to pick up hot things. But look at the materials they're made out of. An oven mitt is made of thick cloth. The sleeve on a paper cup is made out of cardboard. Cloth and cardboard are different materials, but both have the same property. They don't let heat get through them very easily. That's why these materials protect you from getting burned. Scientists have a single
Hmm.
word that they like to use for this property. They say that these materials have insulating property. Materials that have insulating property don't let the heat get through easily, and so that protects you from getting burned. So now you have your solution for how to lift the hot frying pan off of the fire without burning your hand. What you need is a thick piece of cloth or cardboard. But you don't have a thick piece of cloth or cardboard here on the island. All you have on the island are these materials that washed up on shore. Will any of these materials work? You really don't want to burn your hand to find out. How can you find out which materials have insulating property?
And this is when I'm going to pause and come right back to tell you how we're going to do it. Hopefully, I'm back. And hopefully, you weren't there for that whole time, or I'll have to do some major editing. So, to test insulating properties, before I give you the challenge this week, I want you to first test a few materials that you might be able to find around the house. Now, again, I got these materials out of the recycling bin. I don't know what you have around your house, but judging by some of the videos, I know you have some of these materials. I got a piece of aluminum foil. I got a scrap of paper. I got a piece of a paper towel. I got the lid to a plastic container. And I got a piece of cardboard from a box of crackers. So instead of testing with something hot, because I didn't have an adult around, and maybe you don't either right now, that can like help do this experiment, I got something nice and cold. I got a nice cold water from the fridge. Ooh, it's so cold. All right. So insulating works both ways. You can keep something really cold, or you can keep something very hot. Like in the video, you were insulating your hand against the hot object so that your hand wouldn't get hurt. Now, what I want you to do is just to test out these materials and see which ones might have great insulating properties, which ones might be really good at keeping something warm or keeping something cold. Now, the way you can test that is I'm going to start with my piece of paper, and I grab the cold thing. I'm thinking, ooh, can I feel the cold coming through? If I feel the cold coming through the piece of paper, it's not the best insulator. The best insulator means I wouldn't feel anything. The cold would be trapped, and I would just feel the temperature of my hand. I can feel it a little bit with the paper. I'm going to try the paper towel. A little bit better than the paper. Maybe I'll make two piles for like good, bad, and you know what? I'm going to probably rank them in order. So this is the worst so far. This is the best. I'm going to keep testing out my materials, and you should too, because the challenge this week will be using all these materials to do something with insulation. Whatever, I'll give you the spoiler alert now. You're going to use insulation to try to keep an ice cube cold. But first, I want you to test out materials to determine which ones are the best at doing this job. Later, super scientists.